He's conveniently come back briefly because Odin's summoned some dark powers from the universe, and it's very costly. But he's come back to retrieve Loki, who's running madness on Earth and in chaos, and also to ask some questions. That Loki's been missing, and now he's turned up on Earth, and so Thor wants to know, why and how did this happen, and where did we go wrong, and what have you. It's a different sort of arc to, in Thor. He started, it was probably not more of an obvious arc. He started as a arrogant, petulant sort of kid, and by the end of it had to become a noble warrior and learn some humility. In this film, he begins as a sort of noble warrior with the right intentions, but all of that is then tested, I think, in the way he, decides to sort of what's more important, his family values or the protection of civilization, or his personal relationship with his brother or the team he's fighting with now and has agreed to fight with. So it's sort of more subtle, I guess, but also his arc is, what's more important is the story's arc as opposed to his individual sort of journey. Yeah, it's a kind of like the most dysfunctional family you'd ever meet, I think. I mean, Josh said early on about, they're all incredibly powerful, but because of their abilities and their power, they're very alone as well. And I think because, or initially they come into this group and think, we don't fit together, I run the world or I run this realm and you take care of that. And yet, because they're so odd and unique and powerful in their own ways, they do fit together. There's some comfort in that. Finally, they kind of, I think they probably feel slightly normal in amongst this group. Yeah, he's fantastic. I mean, he started it all. He's kind of the godfather of the Avengers in a sense, He had 2 films under his belt, with the franchise before we had any, really. And so, yeah, there's certainly been times, a few times when I've said to him, how do you navigate this, or what do you think of this? And he's very open with his advice and helpful. But it's just a good bunch, I mean, Robert is an actor, and everything he's done is incredible, and as is all of this cast. And so watching all of them work and their different styles and getting everyone together in one big scene has been really exciting. In Mark Ruffalo, you don't see the Hulk, which is, I think, a perfect sort of contrast, because it's that sort of vulnerability and that, fear of what's to come if he does turn into that guy. He doesn't necessarily like who that guy is, It's not something that he's kind of an angry guy and then gets angry. He's this really nice kind of unassuming character. But then if pushed in the wrong direction, he, turns into this monster. And it's great seeing Mark play with that, because he just has a incredibly sort of endearing quality about him, and humility, and, he's the sort of, there's no bravado, and especially when you know what he can become. I think that's what's the really nice contrast.